Good afternoon, everybody. I am Lori DeYoung, the Healing Homesteader, and I'm here joined today up close and personal with Moxie, my 2-year-old Buff Orpington hen, who is a member of my 5 chicken flock that I have here in Fithian, Illinois, which is East Central Illinois. And it's a beautiful day today, finally. We're getting to go out and do actually some yard work. And one of the things that I'm out here sitting in the coop today is my daughter and I are going to be bringing home 3 additional chicks to add to our flock. And so we've got to rebuild some areas for them to get warm, stay warm as they grow before we can put them out with the rest of the flock. And what I wanted to talk a little bit today is a lot of my videos and my Facebook page, The Healing Homesteader, talks about being frugal. But what I don't want people to confuse is being frugal and being a cheapskate. So, a lot of my friends say, "Oh, Lori, you're tighter than bark on a tree." Well, the truth of the matter is, in some ways, I am pretty tight with my money. Because what I want to do is make sure that when I do pay for things and I do invest in things, that they're aligned with my values. And 5 years ago, after I had been watching a lot of videos, documentaries on how some animals may be handled differently than I felt comfortable with in some of these factory farms. Somebody is noisy. I think that's Moxie's sister, Muffin. Let's see if we can show her. I don't know if you can see them down there. Somebody has got a lot to say. But one of the things that concerned me is I just wasn't comfortable with what I was seeing. And when I was getting eggs very, very cheaply at some of the local stores, I just realized that, am I really aligning my values and my money in a way that's consistent? So I want to just say, this has nothing to do about criticizing other people's choices. I am all about, we have to own what is important to us and try to live the one life that we've got with our values matching our behaviors and our choices in our daily lives. And for me and my daughter Chelsea, we decided that we wanted to raise chickens so that we could feel good about when we were eating eggs, when we were having a fried egg sandwich, when we were making a meatloaf, when we were going to be making homemade noodles, or using eggs to brush the top of our oatmeal bread, any of those things that we enjoy. We wanted to make sure we felt good about it. And so we decided that we were going to go about raising chickens. And I live in a small town, and I think I'm like the only person in this town that's got chickens. And it's not always been very welcoming, but a lot of people have kind of gotten used to it. We don't let our chickens run loose in the yard. We have a pen area with cherry netting over the top to keep them safe from predators. Sadly, this has been a learning process for us. We realized that things, even though might not be able to get into the top of the coop area, they could tunnel in. And sadly, we've lost a couple of our pets, and we call them pets. We named them. And some might think that is silly. Animals serve a purpose. They aren't to be named and loved and, because it just hurts. Yeah, it does hurt. But that's how we choose to do it. We name all of our animals. We love all of our animals. We treat them as pets. And we enjoy the gifts that they give us each day. And so we decided that we wanted to go about and have chickens. Now, sadly, a couple times we got roosters, and there is a noise ordinance. Gosh, I can't talk today. There is a noise ordinance in our town, and we made a lot of extra efforts to keep our roosters as long as we could, but not disturb the neighbors. Being a good neighbor is very important to me, especially living in the middle of a town. And so, we would carry them in and out of a yard barn and not let them outside where they could crow until mid-morning when we knew people were up or at work. And sadly, it came one point that we really were denying our rooster the opportunity to have a rooster life. So we rehomed him to a good friend of mine who loves animals as much as we do. And sadly, though, a predator got him a couple weeks ago, which is why we're getting chicks from a local area business, Prairieland Feeds in Savoy, because we aren't going to be able to have any of Marble's offspring to join our flock this spring. And we wanted to make sure that we brought in 2 or 3 more chicks because our oldest chicken May is 5 years old, and believe it or not, she still lays. Now, one of the things that we do is we don't use a heat light in the wintertime to keep them producing. We let them naturally kind of just go into an egg laying hibernation. And then when it gets warm enough and the sunshine is coming out more consistently, then they start laying again. But if anybody tells you that raising your own chickens and having your own eggs is a cheap adventure, it's not. It is expensive. And you know, where you might be able to go to one store and get eggs for 49 cents a dozen, I'm sure with all the costs associated with how we try to raise our chickens, it's probably our dozen of eggs is probably ultimately ending up to being about $5 a dozen. And I'm okay with that, because I'm frugal in other areas that don't have as much meaning to me, and I'm able to put money where my mouth is and where my heart is with regards to how animals are treated. So, you know, I think, hang on a second, I think Moxie wants to say hi again. These animals are well loved, and they are great family members to my daughter and I. And, you know, we take care of them and they take care of us. And whenever we, you know, use our eggs, we're like, ooh, I bet you that one was Moxie's egg. And we've got an Easter egger that lays a blue egg. So we always know which one is Mildred's eggs. So I just wanted to share a little bit with you about why I raise chickens. It's really a value-based decision for me. I can save my money in other ways, like recycling plastic bags or making food from scratch, or, you know, maybe not driving so much every week, multitasking my errands into one trip, so that then I can make a conscious decision on, you know, being able to buy good food for my chickens, to buy them scratched, to buy them mealy worms, you know, which is a great treat, to graze a garden where I can let them enjoy. Now, I don't let them run loose in my yard. I really wish that I could. I just don't feel like it's safe with regards to predators. Like I said, we've lost 3 of our pets, and, you know, my daughter and I, we're pretty soft-hearted, and, you know, burying a pet is never easy. And, you know, these chickens are more than, you know, just an egg producer for us. But, you know, I value anybody's beliefs about how they want to raise their chickens. For us, though, being a home for them and treating them like a pet, and, you know, giving them names, and you know, I even, you know, I know you're probably gonna laugh at me, but, you know, other people must do it because they sell them. I've got a little pink harness and leash that sometimes we walk them around so they can get some fresh grass, because, you know, they don't get the opportunity to graze in, you know, in the yard like a lot of, you know, rural folk are able to let their chickens do. We just aren't able to do that in Fithian, in my town. I mean, I guess I could, but, you know, I don't want to push the envelope in a town that's been accommodating to me, although there's been a few that have kind of, you know, there's kids on the school bus that, hey, there's the chicken lady, but they love coming over and looking at the eggs. They love being able to see the chickens. And so they're kind of excited about when they get to see the animals as well. And, you know, I have a friend whose grandson comes up from Georgia, and he always wants to get the eggs out of the coop, and he wants to feed the chicken. So, you know, I just wanted to talk a little bit about my flock and let you know that, you know, sometimes being frugal is really more about it's not as much about just always saving money. It's making sure that your daily decisions and the choices that you make with your money match your values. And for us, one of those areas for my daughter and I is to be able to raise our own eggs and feel good that our chickens are cared for. Now, granted, I know there's going to be people who probably watch this and say, that lady is crazy, you know, they're livestock. And you know what? To each his own. This is each of our life journey. You know, we get to make decisions with our money, with our choices. And I embrace anybody's choice as long as they're trying to live as consistently as possible so that they don't have worries and, you know, internal conflict over what they're doing and how they spend their money. There's so much regret sometimes that people have when they've spent money impulsively and then they get the bill and they're like, why did I do that? I don't need that. Everything should be as purposeful as possible. And to us, this is one of those purposeful choices that we made with regards to raising chickens. So I got to get back to work today. It's one of the few nice days in Illinois for being almost the end of April. I'm going to try to get my garden in. I got to get a brooder box ready for these chicks. And I hope you have a great day. And if you're in a state like me that's had like this really crazy weather, that it's been like, is it still winter in April? Get out there, get some sunshine, enjoy this beautiful day, and enjoy how you spend your money and feel good about the choices that you make. So I hope you have a great weekend. And again, visit my Facebook page, The Healing Homesteader, and I hope to see you again soon. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.